What's up, everybody? This is Brick MMA, and um, I finished watching uh, Kape versus Almabayev a couple hours ago, but I had to do something real quick. But this is my reaction to the entire card, and honestly, I really want to talk about um the main event. Honestly, this was a really good card. Like, genuinely, this card did so much better than I thought, and there was just like a couple fights that I was pretty interested in, but the whole card overall seemed to be pretty good. Now, the main event, I thought this was gonna be a closer fight than it was. Okay, I thought Almabayev was probably gonna be able to get his grappling in more, but thinking about it, I was really like thinking about the fact that Manel Kape, the questions around his grappling has never been, how do I say this? Like, he's never been tested specifically because he never had to be. Like, he was never in much danger to have been. He's able to get out of the situations before they get really bad. You know, and I can see why a lot of people with that idea would go for Asu Almabayev, but Manel Kape really just started dominating him. I am gonna talk about the stoppage. I thought it was pretty weird. Asu wasn't out. He didn't really seem wobbled. He more just, I guess, just because of him running away from the strikes and like avoiding the fight. But it's just, I feel like you can't really be too mad about it, because the way the fight was going, that was, we just got what was gonna happen earlier. Now it probably would have been better if Manel had like a flashy highlight, of him actually finishing, dropping, or just sleeping Almabayev. But yeah, I'm really glad Manel Kape got the win. He looked really good, and honestly, I think, and I hope, and I really hope, because I'm planning on going to UFC 316 in Newark, and I really hope that card is Pantoja versus Kape, right? I hope he skips the line over Kai Kara France to get the title shot, and I think he should. I think his two wins, his two win streak, obviously is better than the one win streak of Kai Kara France, and even though, um, like Kara France got robbed versus Albazi, and he got a KO win over Steve Urchek. Manel Kape's coming off two KO wins. I mean, if you want to really think about it, it's like slight controversy in both, but like it was just, both stoppages were just delaying the inevitable, the inevitable, because Kape was just fucking him up the whole time anyway, like leading up to it, right? So yeah, I'd rather, and especially because the Steve Urchek win, or I don't know if it's, I know people say Urchek, whatever, but I know that the win hasn't aged as well, especially because his ranking is still pretty low. I think he's number 9. But even, like, honestly, with this type of performance that Asu put on, I think even Steve would have beat him, and I think he still can, right? But I was watching the post show, right? Because I like to see some of the interviews and stuff before like making the videos. But yeah, so I was watching the post show interview with Manel Kape when he had the chance to talk to Pantoja. Pantoja, yo, he knows how to yap, bro. Holy shit. Like, I know English isn't his first language, so like a lot of times he's just talking about the same shit over and over and over, right? And even some of the hosts were catching on to it, and we're kind of like, all right, start cutting them off, right? Start cutting it short. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like we're gonna get the Manel Kape that we wish to have. That was like that was the one calling out Kai Kara France and stuff, because he has a lot of respect for Pantoja. But I really like how it's seeming that we're gonna get Manel Kape versus Pantoja, and I think Manel Kape didn't take a lot of damage, and he only fought 3 rounds, right? And I think he has enough time if he really wanted enough time to have another training camp right after this one, and then fight June 7th, UFC 316. Right? I think that's a solid main event because Manel Kape is one of the bigger names in flyweight outside of like Brandon Moreno, and that's really it. Right? That's like when you think about like casually, like that's the biggest name in flyweight, right? Brandon Moreno. But the co-main, this surprised me. Now, I don't remember who I picked. I think I picked Brundage, or I think I didn't pick anybody at all because I thought the fight was gonna be trash. But this is a different Cody Brundage. This is man on a mission, Cody Brundage. Something to fight for, Cody Brundage. You know, he mentioned in his post fight interview like he was fighting before, and he didn't have that sense of urgency to win for his dream, but now he has it, and I think this is a really good win, and I think this actually sets him up to be somewhat of a personality within the UFC. So I hope he gets re-signed so he can keep fighting like this. I like this different version of him, but oh yeah, and the in between the middle of the fight, I think it was weird. I think it was Mark Smith, I think that's his name, Greg Smith or something like that, maybe. But the ref, he stopped them in the middle of an exchange to put their mouth guards back in, and I think I heard they were saying like it might have been the wrong ones, which is fucking gross, you know. But I guess when you're in the middle of a fight, it doesn't matter as much, especially with all the adrenaline running and stuff. But this was very exciting for the time that it was on for. I like it. I didn't expect this at all, right? And I'm very happy. I'm very happy with this card, especially because I could talk about this one, dude. This one was fucking crazy. This was fucking crazy. Well deserved fight of the night. Um, Bro, give them both the rank. Give them both the rank. They're both top 15 caliber lightweights in the division, and I think them being the new gen of lightweight, they're gonna be problems. They're gonna be problems. Nasrat, I didn't think his hands were this good. That's why I had picked Hibovics. I knew he had more a bit like more of an ability to mix it up because he does choose to wrestle at times, and he did. And when he needed to within the third round, um, Hibovics just put on an insane pace. Nasrat keeping up with it too, super impressive. Hibovics just throwing like 100 plus strikes, like it was nothing though. Like in 3 rounds, If this was a 5 rounder, I think Hibovics gets a knockout because Nasrat was definitely falling apart. But I think Nasrat in 3 rounds could definitely be a problem within the top 15. But I think actually no, I think he might have solid 5 round cardio because this was just like an obscure pace for both of them. Maybe not for Hibovics as much because he's having 2 wars back to back, and I think he should probably take some time off. I don't think he should lose any confidence or if he loses any stock from this, because he put on an amazing performance, like amazing performance. I thought he had won though. I thought it was very close. I don't think it was a robbery. I think Nasrat got a very deserved win, right? Even though I disagree with the judges, but I think you could have gave it to either. I had a Hibovics 2-1. I had him winning the second round and the third round. I thought the second round was close, but I just gave it to Hibovics. I think based off of damage, I think I gave it to him off of that cut, and then in the third round is more because he had more volume and he definitely did more damage in that round. But that's just me. I'm not super mad about how this turned out. But yeah. Next fight on the card, Hyder Emil versus William Gomez. I had chosen Gomez, and I think I had it by decision. But honestly, I couldn't really see much of this fight. My internet had crashed, so I wasn't able to watch the fight night through my ESPN, which is what I usually use. So I think I had only seen the first round, and it was pretty fast paced first round. Some decent exchanges. Gomez looked good. Emil looked good. I think I had seen on Twitter that Gomez was just fading within the third round. So, I mean, I don't really know. I'm gonna probably have to look back for that. But yeah. So, next, Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson. I had Sam Patterson, but I did not have him by KO. That was kind of surprising to me. Danny was looking good in the beginning. He was getting Sam Patterson to really to back up against the cage and put him in bad positioning for his left. But Sam Patterson decided to strike back with him. You know, he caught him really good. And that follow-up shot that he hit him with while he was against the cage, murder. That was a kill shot. You know, like, there's just... Thank God they stopped the fight. Any follow-up shot, Danny Barlow would have a tumor right now. Or, yeah. Honestly. But, very good. Very, very fun to watch. Fight for how long it lasted. I'm very happy my pick was right, even though it was underdog. I always like to have my underdog picks hit, even if my favorite ones don't. But yeah, even the prelims were pretty good. You know, Austin Lane, he's gonna get cut. He needed a win here. I think if he had won, still he probably would have got cut, especially because the way he would have won would have been pretty boring. And the UFC are willing to cut heavyweights after boring performances. But Mario Pinto, yeah, like I said, I didn't know too much about him when I was doing my predictions. I know he was from the Dana White Contender Series, but I had never watched him fight, and I didn't really have the time to do the research for him. But like, I'm looking at the flag, it says Portugal, right? So I'm thinking he's gonna be foreign. He's gonna have an accent, maybe like Manel. No, this guy's British. Like, he's from London, and I was like, what? That shit caught me so off guard. But yeah, honestly, not a necessarily impressive performance by him though, because he had lost the first round to Lane. You know, that's definitely not a good look. Like, he got a pretty, not a fluky KO, because Lane has like the worst chin in heavyweight, but he got pretty lucky. I don't even know if lucky is the word, because it's like everybody knew if he landed on Lane, he would have been over. But I mean, obviously, it's always fun to see a knockout, but crazy knockout too. But I don't think it was a impressive performance for him, and I think he should be given some more blobs before he gets to fight for top 15. The Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe. Man, I knew Chepe was going to do it, but I didn't think he was going to do it this bad to Ramos. I think it was going to be a little more competitive. I didn't think he was going to damage Ramos as much as he did. But that second round, Chepe was just going at him. He just unloaded, and he had like triple his significant strikes in that second round. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but Chepe definitely showed levels. He definitely showed he deserves a top 15 ranked opponent next. And I think that's exactly what you give him. You know, I think you start giving him that push to be able to build his fan base now. You know, he's one of these dark horses in the division that I think is only getting better, and he can do very well at the higher levels, or he at least has the potential to do so. You know. But yeah, the fight right before the Chepe. Another featherweight fight, Danny Silva versus Lucas Almeida. I don't see how this was a split decision. I thought Danny Silva clearly won 2 rounds at least. I believe some people say that Lucas Almeida won that second round. I can't remember too much of it, but I definitely remember Danny doing very well within the first and third round, getting the better shots in, definitely putting on more damage onto Almeida, and definitely a very good performance from Danny with the step up in competition to fight Lucas Almeida. Like Almeida isn't too crazy, or he's not too blunt. I think this was like the level perfect. Like this was the perfect level of competition to test Danny Silva and where he's at. And I'm glad he made weight this time, because I thought that was gonna be an issue. And if he had to move up to lightweight, I think he would do worse at lightweight than featherweight. And yeah, honestly, for this women's MMA fight, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, did not watch. I was mainly on my phone. I was mainly tweeting. And I would just, whenever I would look up, I would just see JJ Aldrich and the commentators glazing her, and her actually doing decent versus Andrea Lee, but beating Andrea Lee is not any accomplishment whatsoever. She's like she's 0-4 now. She should absolutely get cut. I think she's been around for a while, right? And I think she's like, it's just a waste of money to sign these fighters to fight these horrendous fights, you know. But I don't care that much, so I'm just not gonna worry about it too much. But yeah, so the very last, or the very first fight of the card, but the last fight we'll talk about, Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. I did not think Temirov was 5'4". Right? I thought he was like at least 5'7". I thought he was like, because he looks pretty big, right? You're thinking like somebody like that, like he's juiced, like he's a big flyweight. I'm thinking he's 5'7", right? And then I see he has a 63-inch reach, and I'm like, what? I think that's the shortest reach in UFC history. That might be the shortest reach in UFC history, or at least tied for it. But yeah, I had picked Charles Johnson. I thought his experience, he just faced like better level of competition, but he didn't show up like I thought he would. The first 2 rounds, he kind of just let it slip away from, well, not necessarily slip away, but the first round, easy 10-9. Honestly, it could have probably been 10-8, because he was getting dropped a lot, hurt really bad in that first round. And you know, like what they were saying in the commentary, Temirov showed a really good ability to start mixing it up, you know. Like, he was putting a lot of pressure in the first round, and then he was fighting off the back foot in the second, and then I think he added in some wrestling finally at the end, like just slightly. But Temirov really impressed me. I think he can do decent. I think he can maybe hold the top 15 position for right now. But he has to improve his cardio, because he was solid. He was in there for like a solid 10 minutes, and then in that third round, I think it literally looked like he was throwing nothing. Like, he was literally just chilling, just like walking around. And I really don't know how Charles Johnson couldn't finish him within that last 5 minutes, but he was probably really hurt, really tired from taking all that damage. So I don't think Temirov really beats anybody else within the top 15, except maybe like I think stylistically he beats, maybe it sucks to say, but I think he probably only really beats Joshua Van because of Van's chin, you know. Like, Temirov has a lot of power, and I think if he hits Joshua Van with any of those shots, he's going down, right? Um, I think he probably loses to Tim Elliott. I know I was saying on Twitter the other day that Tai Tuivasa and Tim Elliott are the worst fighters in the top 10 of their like in like top are like the worst top 10 fighters in the UFC, which I still don't think I'm wrong, right? Because like Tim Elliott in the Big 2025, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so um, that was all the fights for UFC Vegas 103, and yeah, that was my reaction to the card.